Alright, welcome back to Vermeil and Gold, the anime review, episode number 6. We are here reviewing the last 2 episodes that have been officially released for the series. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about this particular one is that this is the first one since Black Summoner that I reviewed for anime that came out in 2022. I, of course, didn't watch it back then, but I'm watching it now. So, in these last 2 episodes, we see Alto and the Ancient Mage, the one who sealed her, and what they basically see Vermeil's memories, where the Flower Crown goes to a nun she knows, so she all got some siblings, very happy family, and you see her basically she eats some good food, probably because her foster sister is a good cook. And then we see that apparently that the sister does know the fact that she is a demon, but she's the one who raised her. And now you think, see this flashlight, wait, where's Vermeil's horn? She's hiding, with magic, like he does present day. Basically, the sister put these, little cloth things in her hair to look like almost like small buns in her hair. And my guess is one of them must have fallen off. So, and this is from a time period, apparently, where demons were chastised because they look different. Because probably some people, they look like unholy monsters. Well, in some series I've seen, in case you're curious though, is there been discrimination against demons to this magnitude? Well, I get the fact that people like demons per se, but to this extreme extent, this is very original. I've never seen this, at least how dark this flashback is. Because, of course, basically, it's and of course people are stoning this church because they dare harbor a demon who is not like a normal demon person. You probably think, this is sacrilege, a demon basically holy place. Well, I should point out, though, that Vermeil didn't do anything wrong. She looked like she was, someone who did believe in the faith, and people turn on her because she's got horns. Yep. Now, in the case of another show I've seen where you have a character who's got horns, who's a female lead, it was actually in Restaurant of the World when this happened. But in the case of that one, she hit it with a hat. In the case of Vermeil, she hits it with magic. So, and then of course she has to leave. She tries to run away, but she comes back because she wants to see him. And then she gets back and sees the sister, the foster sister, and 2 younger sisters, the younger brother and younger sister, where apparently these people have lynched them. I mean, this is unforgivable. The fact that it's a nun and a nun and a teenager, but doing it to 2 little kids. What is wrong with these people? And of course, Vermeil gets angry and proceeds to almost destroy the entire fucking town. I mean, it's one thing, you execute him for harboring a demon, and your response is to hang children. Good thing we didn't see the image too long, because, oh my gosh, if a kid sees what is that? Why is there kids hanging by a rope from their neck? Ugh. Now, it's part of the story, and I'm not going to criticize the anime for this, depicting this. I blame the manga for this. It's the writer's fault. It's a similar case with Goblin Slayer, where people were basically mad at the anime for depicting a rape scene in the opening episode. When the thing is, it's not the anime's fault, it's the original writer's fault for making that scene in the first place. This is a very similar case. Now, I didn't hear any hoopla about this basically when this came out a few years ago. I heard nothing. A lot of the series in High Dive, I don't get many criticism as basically as probably guess not that really big of a series, but Goblin Slayer, because I think rape is probably something basically very sensitive people. That's probably the reason we're very much outraged. That drew my eye to the series. I do enjoy Goblin Slayer for what it is, though I do criticize that series for not having a trigger warning. In the case of this one, where you're probably thinking, did this episode need a trigger warning? I would say yes. Yes, indeed. Because of the gruesome sight, basically, in this episode. In episode 11, Yes, it's happened in episode 11. Yeah, I do criticize the anime for not having a trigger warning. Just give people, like, be warned. There's some dark imagery in this episode. And they could have, High Dive could, now, this I'm going to blame on, for showing this, I am going to put the blame on Sentai Filmworks. They're the ones who produce it here. Well, actually, no. Actually, it's not their fault for this. No. It's not their fault. It's the original studio's fault for not putting a trigger warning. Do I think there should have been one? Yes. The only anime that actually put a trigger warning ahead of an episode was Skeletonite in Another World. That one at least actually had the balls to do that. To actually put a trigger warning to basically warn people about something that might happen in this episode they may not like. And this is another case where the series, not the licensor, it's not their fault. Don't blame High Dive for this. Don't blame High Dive and the Filmworks. They're not responsible for putting this up in the episode. They're just ones who stream it and license and dub it. It's not their fault. It is the studio's fault for not putting a trigger warning in the episode. So then afterwards, you have Alto comfort her, and of course she basically, first she doesn't recognize Alto, and then she does when he gets older, gets the older version of her, the one you see more familiar with her. Afterwards, they proceed to break all the locks. And they have this really good fight sequence where also the fact Alto confirms that he is in love with Vermeil. So they have a good fight sequence with Elio, which lasts for a good while. And then he's told, time's up, time to go. He's like, why? Because they're breaking the barrier. Damn. And it's this mysterious woman. We don't know who this woman is. She's never identified. And she's appeared in 3 episodes of the show, and we don't know who the heck this woman is. So, then they leave. And then the Ancient Mage basically gives Alto the vow of, like, protecting Vermeil. In fact, he's a stronger protector. And also, as a one last thing she does before she goes back in the book, she restores the building that was destroyed. Yeah, fixes everything. And then Lilia, as soon as she gets inside, sees Alto, proceeds to give him a tackle and hug him. Guess how happy she's back, she's alive. And then it's revealed apparently that she and Marcus passed, no problem. Not sure about Sharon per se, don't know if she passed. And we don't know about Alto. Maybe he did pass. He probably was allowed to pass because he had to beat basically somebody who actually, well, because he was part of Heaven's Will, probably because he defeated him in combat. But defeat some aspects because he's very powerful. He probably was allowed to pass, but they don't really mention it per se here. And then, of course, they just kind of debrief everybody, like, we need to protect the school with the... And then we cut to... Okay, so we finally identify who the swordsman woman is. Her name is Jessica. And we see Alto basically spar with her. And then Chris proceeds to spar with him like she's an MA fighter, basically, in MA gear. And I'm surprised she wasn't turned into a waifu, given the fact that basically she's very beautiful. And she's like, dare, don't mess with Rex. Implying the fact that he's actually hers. So, there's that. And then, of course, the episode... Near the end of the episode, we have Alto and Vermeil making on bed. And then it's implied at night, these two must have had sex. They don't show it per se, but clearly the way he is, the way he positioned where she's butt naked in this bed... Even though he's fully clothed and he's on top of her, I would not be surprised if these two had sex. And then, of course, basically, at least the whole scene at the end of the episode. And this does leave it open for Season 2. Yes, it's been a few years since the season aired. But do I think that the series needs Season 2? Yes. Is the material for Season 2? Yes. Definitely. Now, I mistakenly said the first episode is out from a light novel. It is not. It is out from a manga. Yes, this series is out from manga. Which is interesting. Because a lot of the anime that I've reviewed in the last year or two, I just go straight for the manga adaptation, then I might read the light novel adaptation later on. Like, good case this, Trap and Denison. This is book 12. I'm at that point now. Excuse me. But this overall was a really fun series to watch. And would I recommend people to watch it? Yes, just basically just be warned of what happens in episode 11. Just be warned what happens there ahead of time, so you know that what to expect. You expect something very dark and something you may not like. You could probably rent it out if you wanted to, online if you wanted to. If you see this, it's on high dive, perfectly fine. It's sub and dubbed, so it's up to you if you want to hear the dub cast you want to. I like listening to dubs. I've always liked dubs. The only reason I watch the sub if there's no dub available. But you're probably thinking, wait, Chain Soldier's out now, why aren't you watching that? Well, because the first season was dubbed, so I would not be surprised if this is going to get a dub. I would not be surprised about it at all. So there's that. And plus also, you probably think, did you just did this series because Monica Rawl's in it? Partially. She's a small reason why. Plus I was curious. The series was quite interesting. And plus I saw imagery of this online where we have this beautiful woman basically where she's very tall. And she's taller than the lead character. That doesn't happen very often, where the female lead is taller than the actual male lead of the show. Now, of course, do I think that this might turn into a harem aspect? Well, given the fact that we have two women in love with Alto, and it's implied that the president, the student council president, may have everything for him as well. Jessica, who I think is the vice president, I think they don't really have what position she is in the student council, it's implied she might have a thing for him, but that just depends upon basically how they basically write it. Just hoping for season 2, a lot of this stuff. Just gotta wait for it. There's plenty of material they can adapt from. I mean, the light novel, the manga series in Japan, I think it's in volume 12 right now. And I think this anime only covered the first, 4 volumes, I think it was. Yeah, they covered, maybe around 25 chapters in just 2 episodes, which actually is not that bad for this show. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. I'm going to head out in a bit. Then when I get back, I'm going to start a brand spanking new anime. One that I caught my eye. I was going to do another series, but this one caught my eye, so I figured, though, why not? This one looks interesting, okay? But in the next video, you'll find what it is later on, okay? Bye.